5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to express my concern about the need for fully supporting Native American housing programs. I recognize that my colleagues faced a number of difficult choices when crafting this bill, and I specifically want to thank the Chairman and Ranking Member for their work in fully funding the President's request for Native American housing block grants at $650 million. And I'm pleased to stand here today along such strong advocates for Indian housing programs. I am grateful for the leadership that each of the speakers today has shown. I do share my colleagues' concerns over adequate funding for our Native Hawaiian housing needs, and I'm hopeful that as this legislation moves forward, Congress can work to address this need as well as resolve some serious issues with other parts of the bill. Now, as the members of this committee well know, the challenges facing adequate housing for Indian country are profound. The district that I represent is home to 9 tribes. I have seen firsthand what a difference these housing programs make to individual families and to their communities. And the statistics bear out just how substantial the need is here. In 2012, the Department of Housing and Urban Development found that more than 25% of Indian housing units lack basic facilities, are overcrowded, or cost more than 50% of the residents' income. There is a need today for 200,000 more housing units in Indian country. That's why I'm hoping that this body will soon hold a hearing on the reauthorization of the Native American Housing and Self-Determination Act, or NAHASDA. I know that there's been bipartisan work, both in the House and in the Senate, on identifying ways to increase the effectiveness of these programs and to reduce duplicative bureaucratic requirements. But there's another element of NAHASDA that I think is absolutely important, not only to Indian country, but also to those who've worn the uniform in service to our country, and that's homelessness among our tribal veterans. In December 2012, the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness found that while Native Americans make up 0.7% of the total population of veterans, they represent 2.5% of veterans experiencing homelessness. In other words, homelessness disproportionately affects our tribal veterans. Unfortunately, as I stand here today, we don't have the tools we need to help fight homelessness among our tribal veterans. The HUD Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing Program, which has made real and significant progress in tackling veterans' homelessness, does not have the authorities and flexibilities to provide support to Native veterans facing homelessness. That's why I was pleased to join Representative Cole, a true champion for Indian country, in introducing H.R. 3418, the Housing Native Heroes Act. Our legislation doesn't cost any new money, but would instead authorize existing funds to support a demonstration project that would allow tribes to manage this voucher program directly. In both the House and the Senate, the proposed reauthorization bills advance this proposal, making critical progress in the fight to reduce homelessness among tribal veterans. We have an obligation, a trust obligation to our tribes, but also a sacred obligation to all of our veterans to take care of them when they return home. We simply cannot turn a blind eye to the needs of our Native veterans. If this chamber can make progress advancing NAHASDA reauthorization, I am confident that we can end this anomaly that leaves our tribal veterans without the support they need. I'd like to conclude by noting that the underlying bill before us today provides $70 million for the HUD-VASH program in line with the President's budget request. I thank the Chairman and the Ranking Member for their continued support for this program, and I ask that as this committee continues its work combating homelessness among our veterans, that the challenges facing our tribal veterans are not forgotten. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlemen,